Hi, I'm Danielle. Welcome to my perfume journal. I'm happy to say that I think spring has finally sprung. I hope I'm not jinxing it by saying that. So I brought out 7 perfumes from my collection that I think are perfect for spring. Most of these are like airy florals or watery florals, so I'm excited to wear these as the season is changing. The first perfume moving up to the front of the shelf for spring is this mini and hair mist of Stella from Tocca. All of the perfumes in the Tocca line are so beautiful. I think they're very romantic. And to me, Stella is the springiest one of all. The notes in Stella are blood orange, bitter orange, aquatic notes, lily, moth orchid, white freesia, musk, and sandalwood. And the thing that I think Tocca does best are watery florals. And if you are like me and you really don't like aquatic perfumes very much, don't be put off by the aquatic notes listed here. They're not aquatic like those marine-like cologne-heavy perfumes that I remember from the 90s, things like Cool Water. This is more like fresh spring water, just clean and clear and pure smelling, nothing marine or salty about it at all. The watery notes give the florals and the citrus like a really dewy quality. It's just super delicate. It almost has like a lacy texture. And I got this mini and the hair mist at TJ Maxx for under $15 for both. And I just like use a little pipette to decant the mini into an atomizer, and it works really great. And together they smell so good. I love if I spray the hair mist and I just turn my head and I get like a nice soft whiff of those airy florals and the sweet citrus notes. It's just beautiful and really perfect for spring. So next up we have a perfume that I was talked into buying by a sales associate when I was, guess where, on vacation. I don't have a Joe Malone shop anywhere close to me, so whenever I go on vacation, if there's a Joe Malone shop in a city, try to pop in and smell what might be new or different. And this is Nashi Blossom. Nashi Blossom was one of those temporary perfumes that Joe Malone puts out from time to time. I was really big into Joe Malone when I purchased this. And so I was well and truly sucked in by the idea of a limited edition perfume in a really pretty bottle. So luckily it ended up being something that I do enjoy, even though it was kind of an impulse buy. And the notes of Nashi Blossom are Nashi Pear, lemon, bergamot, apple, Nashi Pear Blossom, rose, white musk, sandalwood, and amber. So the first thing I do want to say is that this perfume is not worth the price. This was vacation Danielle, not regular Danielle purchasing this perfume, but I still am going to keep it. This is a very fruity shampoo style perfume. I have never smelled Nashi Blossom in real life, but in this perfume, I absolutely perceive the pear and the apple, 2 notes that I think are pretty common in shampoos, and they're very pronounced here in this perfume. I don't really get the rose or the amber, maybe just a little bit of that sandalwood in the base. Definitely you get the white musk accord, but mostly this is a really clean, very shampoo-y, spring-like perfume. This would also make a really nice pillow spray, like 1 spritz of this on the pillow at night, especially if it's like warm enough to open the windows and let a breeze in. I mean, not every single perfume needs to set my hair on fire. Some perfumes like this one, they're just nice. They're nice to wear, and that alone can be a really good thing in a perfume. So this perfume I'm really excited to talk about. This is called Trailing Arbutus, and it's from Darren Allen Perfumes. So before I get into the perfume, I just have to say, I cannot speak highly enough of Darren Allen as a perfumer and as a person. Darren is an independent artisan perfumer with a distinctly vintage-inspired point of view. I had the chance to take a series of perfumery classes with Darren. I gained an incredible amount of knowledge from him in a very short amount of time, and I have a great deal of admiration for his talent as a perfumer and now as a teacher. And Darren also has this really cool subscription of the month service where he creates a new perfume every month and offers it at a reduced price in these 10 ml travel sizes. That's where I got this perfume from. And every single perfume I tried from Darren was super interesting. He has such a diverse collection, and I just can't say enough about him. He is a really, really wonderful perfumer and human. Okay, so Trailing Arbutus. I had to do a bunch of research on this one because this was a really interesting project that Darren Allen undertook. So Trailing Arbutus is a recreation of an Avon perfume before Avon was even Avon. It was called the California Perfume Company. This was one of the creations by the founder of that company, who, from what I could find out, he was mostly creating like soliflor perfumes before this one. This looks like it was the first perfume that he created that was not strictly a soliflor. And it also looks like he might have been a self-taught perfumer, which is pretty cool. So this ended up becoming one of the California Perfume Company and then later Avon's most popular scents. It was discontinued in 1948, and then Avon came out with an anniversary version of this in 1979. So the formula is now publicly available. I will link it in the description box below for curious minds like mine. So now perfumers like Darren can try their hand at recreating it as faithfully as possible with materials that are currently available. So the original bottle looked like this, but there are no notes listed for the original bottles. So from the Perfumes online history, these are the notes that I was able to kind of deduce. Rosewood, hawthorn, orris, tolubalm, musk, and benzyl acetate. And they also list in the original formula a lily of the valley wash. And I wasn't really sure what that was, but there is a ton of it in the formula. So that led me to believe that it was like the diluent for the essential perfume oils, in the same way that we would use perfumer's alcohol now. And on Parfumo, the notes for Darren's version of Trailing Arbutus are hawthorn, rosewood, lily of the valley, white blossoms, orris root, musk, and tolubalm. So this perfume is really beautiful, like really beautiful. If this is what perfumes smelled like or were even close to smelling like in 1914, I would definitely like to go back to 1914 in my like DeLorean flux capacitor for a day and give this perfume a sniff in its original form. This perfume is also beautifully labeled by Darren because the look of this label that you see is exactly how this perfume smells. It is a soft, slightly powdery white floral with very, very light green tones throughout. It feels delicate. It almost feels fragile. It is gentle and tender. It's like the new buds of spring. I mean, just talking about this perfume makes me want to smile. It has that kind of effect. It is just delightful. So the next two perfumes come from Miller Harris from a collection that unfortunately has been discontinued. So I was really happy I was able to snap these up at 50% off before they went away. This is Lost in the City and Wander Through the Parks. There were 5 perfumes in this entire collection, and these 2 were my favorites. So Lost is primarily a rhubarb scent. It's very fresh, it's a little bit sweet, it's bright, it's sparkly, it's uplifting. The notes in Lost are bergamot, blackcurrant, and angelica seed, geranium, rhubarb, and damask rose absolute, and musk, Earl Grey tea, and amber. And what I get from this perfume is the idea of gardens or greenery in the heart of a big city. So in London, there's this hotel, it's called the Athenaeum, and there's a garden in that hotel, but it actually grows up the side of the building. And that is what I think about when I smell this perfume. It's like a rainy spring day in a big city like London, at a hotel like the Athenaeum, and you're sipping a cup of Earl Grey tea and snacking on a rhubarb tart. And if this is what it means to be lost in a city, then please do not come looking for me, because this is the kind of scent bubble I would like to stay in. So if Lost is a cup of tea and a rhubarb sweet in a big city, then Wander is the biggest green space in that same city. This perfume opens with a very citrusy top, and it settles down into a lovely green that just never goes bitter. It stays light and dewy, and it's very uncomplicated. The notes of Wander are blackcurrant, pink grapefruit, mandarin orange, pink pepper, fig, nettle, galbanum, and tuberose, musk, cashmere wood, violet leaf, and patchouli. Wander is like an escape from all the concrete and the brick and the polluted air in a city. It's an open green space. It's a respite from all the noises and the smells that permeate busy streets. And I think both of these perfumes are just perfect for spring. This perfume is newer to my collection. It's Softly Eau de Petale from the Softly line by Jill Sander. I blind bought this perfume off of my safe blind buy list. It was a big success. Jill Sander is kind of known for like very simple fashion designs, and I think this perfume suits the simplicity of her overall brand. And even the notes sound springy. Listen to this. They are cherry blossom, rosebud, rose de mai, mimosa, jasmine, white musk, rice, and ambrox. Isn't that pretty? So fortunately, this perfume does not have an overdose of ambroxan. It's just a touch, which keeps it from going like too heavily musky in the dry down. And this perfume is just named so perfectly because it really does smell like soft petally water. The pale pink color of the perfume is exactly what it smells like as well. It's May roses, it's cherry blossoms, a little bit of powdery mimosa, just a touch of that starchiness in the base from the rice. It's so, so pretty. It reminds me a little bit of Chanel Chance Au Tendre. It doesn't smell exactly like that perfume, but it's in the same kind of neighborhood, just like soft, delicate, clean. Another great springtime scent, very bouncy, very happy. Okay, so I saved one of my favorite spring perfumes for last. This is Amicus Cumulus from the independent artisan brand Pearfat Parfum. So the perfumer here is Ali Corral, and she is literally one of the most awesome people on the planet. She's another perfumer I took classes with, my first perfumery classes actually, and she made the introduction to this art form so interesting, so approachable, not gatekeepy, not snobby at all. She is self-taught. She is a huge champion of encouraging creativity in the field of perfumery. She hosts perfume making classes, and she also holds classes online. She's so cool. I love her vibe. It shows in her perfumes. Her point of view is like kind of kitschy, kind of retro. And I think when I think about her, I think about like those cat clocks that hang in a kitchen with like the tail that goes back and forth, or like boomerang bark cloth curtains and Cupid dolls. I love everything about her vibe. And Pearfat is such a great example of how much an independent perfumer's personality, their history, their stories are reflected in their art in a way that you just really do not see that often in commercial perfumes. That is why I think independent perfumes are so interesting. I can't imagine my collection without great indie perfumes on my shelves. So the perfume, the notes in Amicus Cumulus, can you tell I get really excited when I talk about independent perfumes? I just think they're just so cool, and the perfumers are so great, and they make such interesting stuff that you can't smell anywhere else. Okay, so the notes of Amicus Cumulus are fluffy clouds, ozone, milky oolong tea, fresh strawberries, sweet black licorice, and good omens. Isn't that fun? I mean, I love note lists like this that come from indie brands. Love, love, love. So Amicus Cumulus literally smells like a tea party in a hot air balloon. It's airy and ozonic, like you're high up, you're looking down at earth from above, you're sipping a nice cup of milky tea that's been stirred with like a licorice vine, and you're nibbling on scones with strawberry jam. It's super whimsical, but it still smells great on. And I think that's a real feat for any independent perfumer. I think sometimes conceptual perfumes can be cool, but they don't always smell like something I want to wear. But this perfume is both of those things. It's an amazing concept, and it smells amazing when you wear it too. Okay, so there we are, 7 perfumes to usher in spring. Even like looking at these bottles makes me think of spring. They're all like pastel-y and delicate looking. So I am really excited for the next couple of months. I love this season where everything just starts turning green again, and the air is so fresh and clean smelling, just like a lot of these perfumes. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you spending your time here with me, and thanks for chatting perfumes with me in the comments. I hope you have a really great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.